This was not supposed to happen so quickly. The moves being made by Ripple, XRP, crypto, stablecoins, it's this mad dash, and they try to keep it as quiet as possible. But the kind of moves that are going down, you can't keep that quiet for long. Even the normies will start waking up. This is huge. Austin King selling us, you know what? Most people, they're missing the big picture here. Ripple, RLUSD, yeah, it was just approved for Dubai. That's a $400 billion economy. That's the headline, but that's not the real story. What he believes, Austin King believes that Japan is next. That's a $4 trillion domino. Decade-long ties with SBI. We've been knowing they've been building towards this. Export-heavy economy, high dollar usage, of course. RLUSD could soon replace much of the dollars that are being used in cross-border trade, all flowing over the XRP ledger, flowing through XRP. This is 10x bigger than Dubai, and it's not the last domino, it's just a Goliath. The XRP ledger isn't just getting adoption here, it's aligning the global infrastructure of the future. You're not early, you're watching the monetary reset, a mad dash. And this is absolutely wild, and it gets even crazier. 300 million XRP treasury filed with the SEC by a Chinese firm, Weebus. Well, he talked about that. I expected it to be $100 million. They've upped it here. And, you know, this is not just an XRP strategic reserve. If we look at this, first of all, they're using loans, not shares. I don't love that, but I'm not an investor in the company. Who cares? But they're tapping Ripple's payment rails directly. Why would a chauffeur service need Ripple blockchain in a 9-figure XRP stash? Because they ain't building a treasury. They are building infrastructure here. This is no longer just retail speculation. It's a state-aligned, global, and quietly escalating here. And this is exciting to me because this is a publicly traded company. It's one with ties to China, and this is going to spread globally. It's not just the US, it's not just Europe, Dubai, Japan. You're involving China here. This is a mad dash. World Economic Forum just validated XRP. Now, am I a fan? Do I think they're the good guys? Well, no, but guess what? The bad guys use important and valuable technology just the same as the good guys. The WEF officially, their 2025 tokenization report, it mentions a $1 billion fund launched on the XRP ledger. This Aurum Equity Partners, using XRP ledger to tokenize PE plus debt assets for global data center investment. Why did they say they use XRP Ledger? Well, open source and decentralized, instant settlement, low fees, enterprise-ready infrastructure, built-in compliance logic. The World Economic Forum calls tokenization the next generation of value exchange. They know where it's at here. XRP Ledger isn't playing catch-up here. It's already in the system. I've been telling you this idea about already being integrated. Now it's the mad dash to go live, to flip the switch, if you will. We see this report, XRP ETF Confidence now soars to a record 93%. 93% chance we get an ETF, not someday, not sometime in the distant future, in 2025. It's going down. Just in, Senator Bill Hagerty says stablecoin legislation will propel America's payment system into the 21st century. And that's what this is about. Lowering costs, making real-time payment systems globally anywhere in the world. This is the future. We're watching it unfold today. Wolf of Wall Street saying asset manager Franklin Templeton running a Cardano node. You're going to see these asset managers dabble in all sorts of crypto industry. Some will stick, some will be successful, some will not. Don't listen to the people that tell you it's only Bitcoin. Couldn't be farther from the truth. NASDAQ listed e-commerce platform Treasury Global launches 100 million digital asset treasury strategy to acquire Bitcoin, Ethereum, and stablecoins, funded by 50 million equity financing and 50 million institutional commitment. We're seeing more and more publicly traded companies launching a crypto strategy here. This is just going to get bigger and bigger. Ethereum Foundation sounding the alarm. We see they're saying the next 18 months are pivotal, and it ain't hard to see why. Let's be honest. They have just 2.5 years left of runway of money. That's a problem. Ethereum currently is still 46% below all-time high, and they are quietly pivoting deeper into DeFi after backlash of their Ethereum sales. You remember, price is doing pretty good, but they kept selling and selling and selling. They had quite a bit of backlash there. They now plan to earn returns using protocols like Aave, Spark, and Compound while claiming neutrality. That's the problem. The people that are building out the system, they're relying on these dApps. You don't think they're going to be favorable to them? If their future relies on it, of course they will. Ethereum Foundation, it's tightening its treasury. They're running out of money. It's restructuring teams, but why now? Critics say the foundation is running out of time. Ethereum is underperforming, and, well, trust and confidence in the asset is starting to erode. Joe Lubin saying Solana has forced the Ethereum pivot. The Consensus CEO admits Ethereum was caught sleeping, and only after the Bitcoin breakout and Solana's rise did they reprioritize and kick in the afterburners. They are rushing to onboard TradFi. They're trying to rebuild momentum. They are courting sovereign wealth funds, and they're taking cues from OpenAI's disruption. That's his words, not mine. How they're going to do what OpenAI is doing, I don't know. Lubin says the Ethereum ecosystem is now on fire like never before. Let's see that token price go on fire, huh? Is this momentum, or is this Ethereum scrambling to keep up? And you notice what he doesn't say. The pressure by Bitcoin, the pressure put on Ethereum by Solana. What about XRP? XRP is the one that's gaining on them. XRP is the one that will be adding DeFi and all sorts of features that we see corporate treasuries adding. You don't think that this guy has XRP on his mind? You know he does. And he just won't say it. Sad little man there. California, they want to seize your crypto here. They just, AB 1052 just passed 78 to 0. So there was no one pushing back on this, and it gives the state the power to take unclaimed crypto from exchanges after 3 years of inactivity. So you have a little Bitcoin sitting on the exchange, you don't log in for 3 years, who cares? Just leave it on there. Oh no, California, Gavin Newsom, the great Governor Newsom, wants to dip in there and take your money here. No hacks, no fraud, you just didn't log in, that's it. They claim the assets. They're not going to liquidate them. Don't worry about it. They're going to hold it as a custodian. Keep it safe for you. Safe on the exchange where you left it last. Like, why not leave it there? But have we ever seen government grab your property and not use it for something nefarious? I say no. Critics call this a land grab. Lawmakers, they're calling it protection here. Do you trust California, the state of California, the great Governor Newsom? Do you trust them to hold your crypto? Or might you trust the exchange where you just left your money? That's who you trust. That's why you left it there. But Governor Newsom knows better here. Coin Bureau saying Bitcoin OGs warn companies buying Bitcoin. If your business model can't survive an 80% drawdown, rework it now. Bitcoin has crashed 70 to 80% before, and it can happen again. Buying a very volatile asset. That's why we're all in this asset class. We like the volatility, but you got to be able to weather the storm. It's not sustainable to take infinity debt and just keep buying and buying and buying. These assets, they go down in a big way sometimes, and if you're not ready for that, I'm telling you right here, you better rework what you're doing. I don't think Michael Saylor is going to be listening. Shama says the following: it would be genius for Ripple or Coinbase to buy Circle. My understanding, they're going to go public. No one's going to buy them. It's looking like Circle's IPO is 25x oversubscribed, valuing the company at $7 billion. If someone can buy it for even 12 or 13, that's a steal. I disagree. They have their nonsense with Coinbase that makes them, a superpower here in the United States. I don't think once we get regulations, they're going to be allowed to do the things they do now. I think a lot of people are going to have to get access in the stablecoin arena, and I'm not sure what great advantage USDC has. I think other people will be able to erode their market. Specifically, I know they're going to get into payments, but they really don't have a payment business yet. They don't have a lot of stuff, and it's kind of a bad business because they are so closely tied to Coinbase, and Coinbase gets the overall say, and they can veto stuff, and of course they get fees. I don't know. I don't think I would pay $12 to $13 billion for Circle. Now, if you could get it for $5 or $6 billion, hey, it's a good way to scale very quickly. But 12 to 13, I'm not seeing it. Circle has built the entire market structure for stablecoins well before it formally existed in the United States, i.e. ahead of the Genius Bill. And I agree, it's very important infrastructure. It would help you scale really quick, but I think that's wildly overpaid. Now, I saw something about Brad Garlinghouse, some articles saying they never did a bid to buy Circle. People that were at XRP Las Vegas and heard him talk directly said that's not exactly what he said. He said they never offered to buy the company for $20 billion, which makes a lot of sense. I mean, Ripple's not even worth $20 billion unless they're going to take IOUs on some XRP and escrow. They're not going to buy the company for $20 billion. And I think, again, if I think 12 or 13 is too much, 20 is awfully high. Will this still happen? It could. Circle could go public. Those rates start coming down. Things aren't looking good. That valuation starts sinking, and you might nab this at a discount, less than $5 billion. Who knows? Circle's very interesting. It's not something I'm planning to buy, especially if it's at $7 billion out the gates. But there might be opportunity down the road. That is not the end of the discussion. We'll have to see how it performs in a different environment. The Fed, they're not going to stop. They're not going to bring the rates down today, but they're going to have to eventually. We know that. We know where those rates are going, and they're going to be going down. Let me know what you think down below. As always, please like, please subscribe. The revolution will be televised right here on Jungle Link.